All right, guys. What I'm going to do as part of tonight's class really is just a bit of an orientation, a bit of a jump in. And maybe I've done this before, so maybe the other guys thought, okay, we'll just come to the second class because we'll miss this one anyway. But let's jump in and let's have a good look at what level 2 is. Let's have a good look at our approach to level 2. How many guys are brand new? And there's nothing to be embarrassed about, guys. Okay, is what it is. Everyone says to me, would I ever hire someone that's failed a CFA level? So I said, I've got 2 of them on my staff. Yeah, so I would, yeah. The only thing I insist on is that you do it again. If you don't make it, you come back. That's my only thing in terms of when as if I had the ability. But TJ, okay, man himself. Grab a file, huh? So no embarrassment, but just to get a sense, guys, how many guys are brand new? Okay, so we got. Okay, perfect. Yeah, take off, yeah, for sure. Okay. So we do have quite a few new, quite a few old. Makes no difference, as I said, because if you are one of the old, you're here anyway. So that's good luck to you. No, I really mean that. I had one girl that wrote level 1, passed first time. Wrote level 2, passed first time. A bit of a genius girl. I don't know what that means, but we'll leave it at that. She wrote level 3 and failed. It was the first time in her life that she had felt anything. She was mid-20s, and it was like a mind. It was too much for her. And she phoned me and she said, can she send in for a remark to the CFA? I said, I don't typically do remarks. She said, but it's impossible that she failed. It can't be. I said, you're in there with 44% of the people that also failed level 3. Could be. She said, no, it's impossible. Impossible. Sent in for whatever remark, which is not, they don't do much of it anyway, still failed, and then left it. Just that sense of not being able to pass level 3 was just too much for her. And it's been about 2 years now, and she hasn't come back. She didn't do it through us the first time, but won't do level 3 again, which I think is terrible. Not terrible, but I think it's a waste. So as long as you're back here, we're happy to have you. We're going to work. Okay. And let's just discuss very briefly what our process is and how we some new faces, some older faces. Okay. So I'm going to give you the intro into our program first and foremost, and then we'll look at the CFA's program and just what's changed from level 1, what's changed from level 2, because there have been some changes. Okay, let's go. So, guys, if you look at the schedule, we're going to run all the way through till 6th of December. Okay, in the early start. Guys, this is in the front of your file, so you've got a picture of it. I know it is quite small over here, so if you can't see it, it is in the front of your files. We go from all the way now till the 6th of December, and it's every Thursday. Okay, so please, I know, no, not you guys, but in my youth, Thursday night was the drawl night, as was, I suppose, Saturday night and Sunday night and Monday night. Okay, not anymore. Okay, not for this period. Okay, now we're going to work. This is, okay. So we run through till 6th of December. You get a nice break, guys, all the way to 15th of January. And some of the guys asked, what exactly is the early start? Well, the early start, I picked 3 topics which guys typically battle with. Okay. 3 topics that are important topics, okay, and we focus on those now. How does it differ from when we do them come January time? Because come January, I do everything again. So, particularly for some of the level 1 guys that join us in January only, doesn't matter, we start from the beginning anyway again. But if you have a look over here, guys, for example, things like, financial reporting and analysis. Yeah, we've got 5 sessions. Okay, we've only got 3 in the we call it the regular or the normal program. Okay, we've only got 3 then, and the reason for that is because we've added a little bit more time pressure to get all the work done. So my sense is, guys, if you're obviously all here, but the early start will give you that the edge that you need, because but again, guys, just, I know I'm being a bit fussy, but now that you've made the commitment to come to early start, let's make use of it. Okay, because remember, guys, if we have a look at the breakdowns, and the breakdowns are very vague in CFA level 2, they're not like level 1. The level 1 guys that are coming up, the breakdowns are very vague here. Okay, we're not supposed to tell you this, okay, but you could. There's a very definite way that you can tell, only post-exam, by the way, what was asked and how much of each question was asked. And FRA is massive, guys. Financial reporting analysis, it's big. You know, if we just digress for a second, guys, and just have a quick look at the breakdown of your paper. Okay, your paper is broken down, okay, into, you got a morning paper. Now, no change from CFA level 1, and obviously no change from the guys repeating, and let's just call it an afternoon paper. Each paper, it's got 10 questions in it. Okay. And they're not questions, they almost like, I don't know what you want to call them, they call them vignettes. Maybe it's an American word, I don't know. Okay. It's a bit of a story. Every story of your 10 stories in the morning, your 10 stories in the afternoon, comes with 6 questions after, 6 multiple choice questions after that. Okay, so you've got 10 stories. Okay, 10 stories in the morning, 10 stories in the afternoon, okay? And after each story, guys, is anywhere between 1 to 2.5 pages. It's a story, it really is. When I say it's a story, it's a, okay? And part of our job is to get that story through ourselves quite quickly, that we can move on from the story to the end of each story times 6 multiple choice questions. Okay, so you're left with 60 questions there, 60 questions there. Okay, and I'm not here to teach you the maths because you can do that easily. Remember level 1, you had how long per question? So it still sits painfully in your minds, but it's a past memory. 90 seconds a question for level 1, remember that? Here you've got 18 minutes per story. Because remember, we've got 180 minutes in the morning, 180 minutes in the afternoon, and divide by your 10 stories. Okay, so you've got 18 minutes per story. Guys that are repeating, you can answer this one. Is it enough time? It's pushed. Time is, there's never a time. Okay, I don't mean to discourage you, but there's never a time in CFA that you've got time. Is what it is. I just took a call just before this class, a level 3 student who's failed it twice now, and he said all he wants to know is, do I teach them how to write essays? Because remember, level 3, half of the course is like this. The morning session is, the afternoon session is the 10 questions, the stories, multiple choice. The morning is what they call constructed response or essay type questions. Okay, everybody fails that. Everybody. Okay, our job is to teach you to do the best you can. That's a tough tool. What do we get through it? I mean, what was interesting, what I found is that that was our highest pass rate, our level 3 guys. We've got about a 70% pass rate for level 3 guys. So if you get there with us, you're going to do well. We've got to just get you past level 2. Okay, even the level 2 guys are nasty last year. Okay, I haven't got them all in, but we're about 12% above the international pass rate, which is, I've never got an answer from the CFA. They'll never tell me what the South African pass rate is, because I want to try and benchmark to that. That's where my students are, but they won't give that out. They'll only give me international. International I can get all day long. They publish that on their website, don't they? Okay, is what it is. Okay, that's your picture, guys. Okay, so part of the training, guys, is when we work now, okay, is first step, and as with every level, it makes no difference which level you're at, is we've got to get the knowledge. We've just got to get that knowledge. Has just got to be, there's no substitute for knowing the work. Okay, and that's why this guy said to me, "Well, I teach him how to write essays. He's failed it twice. He wants to learn how to write essays or constructed response." So first of all, I get very encouraged when they tell me essays, because then that's the mistake. It's not an essay, by the way. Okay, it's writing. And you guys in CFA one, by the time you get to level 2, you've done so much multiple choice that when they ask you to write a sentence or two, you think it's an essay. Okay, it's little dots, dot points, dot points, dot points. So when he tells me essay, I think, oh, I can help this guy all day long because he thinks it's an essay. Okay, the guys that are typically very good at creative writing or what have you don't pass level 3. It's the technical guys that know how to write dot points down, and we'll get to that in level 3. And he said to me, you know, well, he wanted to me to teach him how to write essays. I said, it's not going to help you write essays. I said, step number 1, and the same thing applies to you guys, we've got to learn we've got to get the information inside of us. There's no substitute for knowing the information. The better you know the information, the quicker you can read through the story, and the quicker you can identify what the multiple choice questions are asking. Okay. Now, and that's why I love the early start program, because no one here looks stressed. Guys, wait. You'll all be back in January, and look at the other faces in January, all the new guys that are either coming from level 1 or only decided to do, and they've got this like little bit of a panicked look. Because time is short, guys. Time at this point is your friend, but time is short. Okay. I've just finished with the FRM guys. We've done 3 of the 4 books with them. I've handed over to Mo now to do the 4th book of the FRM. And they're counting days now. 51 days. And I said, relax, we don't need to stress. But the beauty about early start is we've got time now. Time's not okay. And what we do, if I take us back a page, guys, is we do these 3 big topics. And again, when I showed you here, guys, that there are 10 stories in the morning plus 10 stories in the afternoon, you basically got 20 questions altogether. Okay. How many do you think came from FRA last year? Okay. The weighting, they say, is about 10-15%, but they are 10 to 20. In CFA level 2 as opposed to level 1, guys, they don't give you an exact weighting. So level 1, when they said to you ethics is 15%, it was a nice easy calc, wasn't it? What did you do? You just said, okay, like 15% times 240 questions, 120 in the morning, 120 in the afternoon. You worked it out, and you said to what you get? Okay, I'm going to get 36 ethics questions. And how many ethics questions were in CFA level 1? 36. Level 2 is not like that. Level 2, okay, is ethics is 10 to 15. 10 to 15 means it can be 2 questions or 3. Okay, so it kind of like takes out your ability to spot questions. Okay, we got to know everything, and guys, that's been a bit of a failure of the guys in past years. When I take you through the subject matter, you'll see that looks small. It does, but it's important. And the guys I cry for is when you were like, yeah, close. And had you just done that extra section, you would have pushed you through. So my philosophy is a simple one. We do everything, and we do everything well. We're not skimping on anything here. I'm not going to tell you any section is less important. Okay. If closer to the exam time, you're battling with certain sections, we'll come up with an exam approach for you. But the stock standard approach now is we do everything and well. I can't think of another approach. Okay, so basically, guys, of the 20, very likely, they say, if memory serves us, between 15 and 20, they go always on the upper level, and it's likely to be 20 questions for you. Sorry, 4 of the 20, thank you. Guys, if you just put down your names over there, the reason I want your cell phone numbers, we put you onto the WhatsApp group so we can just all communicate with each other. But I don't sell your cell phone number to anybody. But don't worry, it's been sold already anyway. So. Okay, by somebody else. When they phone you for a special offer of something that you're not interested in at all. And how did you get my number? Stories. Okay, so they've got your number anyway. So, but we definitely do not give it out to anybody other than to put it onto our WhatsApp group. Okay, so guys, if we look at the breakdown very briefly, guys, you are very likely to get, of your 20 questions, just to show you why I start with these ones, probably 4 from FRA. Probably. Okay. Derivatives. It's difficult to see the breakdown now because They put derivatives together with alternatives in their breakdown, so you couldn't see an exact questions that were asked. Very likely to be 2. And Portman was a little bit of a disappointment to me last year. There's only 1 question. There's normally 2. Okay, so it could be 2, it could be 1, but have a look at that. If we do early start properly, and you guys really use the opportunity, because you're here anyway, I know we're edging towards the end of the year, okay? But if you use this opportunity really well, guys, you can almost knock off 40% of the questions. To me, it's either going to be, we're either talking about 7 or 8 questions out of the 20. Okay. And also, if you learn, when you learn here, okay, as part of the early start program, okay, unstressed, it's a different learning. It's a different kind of a learning. As opposed to when you stress and time is of the essence, and you only got 5 more months and you're counting those days, and remember we're starting here on the 15th of Jan, and everybody's panicking a little bit because time is running, and it all just starts to get a little bit too much. But we've already done these 3 topics, okay? And we'll do them well. We'll do questions, etc., etc. Okay, and guys, just going back to what I said a little bit earlier, when we look at these, the stage number 1 is to get the, we lock them in there. That's the front door. Okay, perfect. Stage number 1 is to get the knowledge. Now, when I talk about getting the knowledge, okay, let's have a quick breakdown, and I'm going to do it through this 3rd slide. It is quite tiny, guys. I do apologize, but I wanted to get everything onto 1 slide. So if you turn to your 3rd page from the front, and you even have to turn your file sideways or however you like to do it. Okay, what I want to do, this is for the level, this is for the guys that are repeating, as well as for the other guys to see where the focus is. Okay, try and make it a little bit bigger there. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, and what we're looking over here, this is the only level, guys. You get a discount in level 2, by the way. There's only 17 study sessions. Okay, please don't treat it as a discount. They didn't mean it as such. Okay, so that's the same year on year. So what I've done over here, guys, is to take you through this spreadsheet, because it's a very important one. Okay, there's 2018, there's 2019. We're going year on year. Okay, let's have a look what's changed, what's new. That's where a lot of our focus is going to be. Okay, we have a look over here, guys. In last year, they had a whole batch of these little readings, okay, the Glenarm Company, Preston Partners, okay, Super Selection, etc., etc., okay, those are all gone. Those 3 are gone, and they've all been replaced, guys, okay, by 1 major big reading, because all of those were already just case studies anyway. Excuse me, that's been now replaced by this new reading, if you look over here, guys, and that's called Application of the Code and Standards. That's a new one, brand new reading. But again, guys, the guys that are repeating, it's new, but it's not new, is it? I mean, the application of the code and standards, when did you see that? In level 1. When did you see it again? Level 2. When will you see it again? Level 3. When will you see it again, by the way? Hopefully all the time. That's a good answer. I like that. But if you're studying, by the way, Kaya, Chartered Alternative Investments, has adopted the CFA code and standards verbatim. So in fact, if you study the codes and standards very well, you can get 5 uses of it. CFA level 1, 2, 3, Kaya level 1, and Kaya level 2. And you can come out with 2 charters with 1 set of ethics. CRPM is the same thing, exactly right. You can get even more. You can get 7 uses of this code and ethics. And then in FRM, it doesn't matter because there's only 2 pages of ethics for FRM. I don't know why. 2 pages. Okay. Maybe they're just more ethical than us. Okay, the risk guys. Okay. Guys, so that's a new reading, a brand new reading. It's called application. But again, all the data is that they dropped everything else, all the little bitty readings, okay, and put in a big reading to teach you the application. Okay. We move down, okay. Correct, yeah. It's a little bit in there as well. But remember, Matt, what was interesting about what was reading 3, guys, if you can see over there, the research objectivity standards, it didn't come back in level 3, which was interesting. So it's not, yeah. So you're going to see that again. That's going to be there, but as part of application. Okay. So basically, if you look at your ethics section now, guys, okay, it's code, it's standards, it's the application of those, and 7 and 8, what was 7 and 8 have remained the same, which is trade allocation and changing investment recommendations on that. That'll be there as well. Okay, that's your change number 1. Looking at change number 2, and I've seen this all over the press, they're making such a big deal of it. Okay, and what they're saying is that, if you have a look over there, fintech in investment management, and they're almost saying, well, CFA has given a rubber stamp to Bitcoin. Okay, they haven't. This new reading over here is a carbon copy reading. The level 1 guys do it, the level 2 guys do it. It's a carbon copy reading. Okay, it's a little bit on fintech. By the way, the level 2 guys, you've seen fintech here already, haven't you? What was reading 51 in the past, algorithms. Your very last Portman reading, you've seen that before anyway. There's a lot of overlap over there to this fintech section. Guys, please don't. If anyone in that doesn't know anything starts to tell you, oh, you know, even CFA loves Ethereum and Bitcoin. No, they don't. It's a very topical thing they've put in as well. CFA haven't given a rubber stamp as a. I'm not knocking Bitcoin or Ethereum or Light or whatever else is out there, Arcos and all of those. And it's a tiny reading, by the way. It's a little reading. Okay. But obviously the rest of the guys, has everyone signed for me? Okay. The rest of the guys have all jumped on the bandwagon and said, oh, you can see even CFA now is teaching a Bitcoin, etc. They are, but it's little stuff, guys. For now. By the way, so is FRM teaching Bitcoin, as is Kaya. Okay. Why? It's a very topical thing, and we've got to be on top of what's happening in the industry. Is it the next biggest thing? Let's leave that for that particular class, okay? And we can have that discussion then. But that is a change. I'm just going to go through the changes with you to make sure we're on board. A little bit of a change, okay, in multiple regression, okay. In terms of the quants, guys, my hope is that you love quants more than level 1. Not a crazy quant section. We do simple regression, multiple regression, and time series. Okay. Good news if you do want to migrate from a CFA to an FRM, same stuff comes up again. So you'll have had a jump up. A little bit of a change here, guys, in reading 8, but not crazy at all. Okay. Everything remains the same, okay, until we hit a brand new FRA reading, okay, reading 17. In fact, it's one of the most lovely readings in FRA. I think they're all lovely, but this is a particularly nice one. Okay, reading 17, okay, it's a brand new reading, okay. Analysis of financial institutions. So we start to look at banks, to analyze banks, net interest margin. How many guys have heard of camels? Not the ones in the desert, but the ones that we used to analyze banks with. Camels. My sense it was developed, I think, by JP Morgan as a banks analysis tool. Okay. And that's reading 17 is camels. What does camel stand for? C, capital adequacy. A, asset quality. So remember now, we're analyzing a bank now, aren't we? Capital adequacy, asset quality. Okay. M stands for the management team. Let's have a good look at the management team of a bank. E, earnings sufficiency, I think they call it. L, liquidity, good. And S, solvency. S is? Okay, something to do with market risk. They look at no. Systemic risk is what is the very first, exactly right. Systemic risk, not this S, but systemic risk is the very first, is the opening paragraph of reading 17, because they say, why are we making you look at banks? Because banks possess, and guys, another thing how we run this class, there's no, I hope no one thought they're going to come here and just listen and be entertained. I'm not an entertainer, not by any means. We're going to think and we're going to work. Okay, we're going to think deeply. Okay. When you hear the word systemic risk, obviously it applies to banks. What's the very next word that comes to your minds? Yeah, I want more. Yeah, more than that. Systemic risk is a risk to the what? Good, give me more then. What happens when that risk to the financial system within one specific place spreads? Chat? Yeah, you got the bottom half of the word right, but I want more. Come on. Contagion. Happy with that? Okay. Guys, we're going to think. We're going to think hard in this class. This is not. We're not here to. We are here to have fun, but to think also. Okay. Contagion, and that's obviously when we start to analyze banks, which is the brand new reading 17. Okay. And I think LOS 6, which is the sixth LOS in that particular reading 17, gives you a little bit on insurance companies as well. We'll look at the two different kinds, life and what in this country we call it short-term insurance. What do the Americans call it? Strange name. Property and casualty. Okay, which is mainly short-term for properties and casualties. Not much. In that reading 17, it's the first time in any CFA syllabus, by the way, including level 1, 2, and 3, where they start to introduce, the first time I've ever seen it, by the way, Basel 3, which is all the regulatory stuff. We look at your capital, tier 1, tier 2 capital. We don't go into much more in measuring it in terms of VAR or things like that, but we do a basic intro into regulation, which is nice because it's everywhere else. It hasn't been in the CFA syllabus, but now it's come in that reading 17. So if you had to ask me, guys, are you going to get a question from reading 17? I think they'll be crazy if they didn't put it on, because there's such nice stuff in there. Okay, and it's so applicable, obviously. Okay, that's new. And look at that. There's not much more new, I'm sorry to tell you. Okay. Same. Okay. A little bit of credit analysis models. Okay. And a bit of a change, but not much over there either. It's just really a repeat. When I put it in a lighter orange, it's just a bit of a rewrite. Okay. But not a major rewrite. Okay. Guys, that's it. So if you have a look at what's new in level 2, two major readings on new. Fintech, so you might get a question out of that. Unlikely to even get a full question. Okay. And then the analysis of banks or financial institutions. That's it. Okay, so for the guys that are repeating, it's a good time to repeat because there's not a lot of new stuff. Okay, most of the stuff is old. It might be hopefully it's not new for you. Hopefully you did see it last time. Okay, we just need to fix up odds and ends. But guys, if you have a look at that, guys, that's your syllabus. That is your entire syllabus. If we break it down a little bit further for you guys, there's ethics. Let's just give them their numbers, guys. And the good news for level 2 is a carbon copy of level 1 in terms of the topic and the subject matter. So remember ethics. Okay, that's number 1. Quants, number 2. Economics, good news. It's a much smaller topic weight than it was in level 1. Does anyone here love economics? Only Eric. Okay. Okay, not many do. Not many do. You're okay. FRA maintains its status from level 1. If memory serves, level 1 was 20%. It's 15 to 20 here, so it's as important. Okay. Corporate finance, 2 questions. Probably they rate it as a 5 to 10% topic. Okay. Equities, massive. This is a big one. Am I right? At least 3 questions, 3 or 4 questions. Matt says 4. Okay. 3 or 4 questions on equities. And equities now, guys, it's much more interesting than level 1 because we go through the whole process. We started with all the valuation methodologies. We use discounted cash flows. We use the normal DCF. We use residual income valuations. All of them, guys. We're going to go through the whole process. We value private companies as well. It's a lovely section. But that's a big one. Okay. Fixed income, 2 questions probably. Okay. Derivatives, 2, maybe 3 even. That says 2. Okay. Tend to agree. There's 3 readings for derivatives, but likely to be 2 questions. Alts, probably 1. Yeah. Correct. Quant's got 2. The year before, I think quants got 1. Because remember, what they do, guys, and just to illustrate for you here, when they show you, and that's why I haven't bothered to give you the percentage, because it's a little bit of a waste of time in a sense. But for example, under quants, if you look at the CFA textbooks, they'll say 5 to 10%. Now, what is it? 5 means you're only going to get 1 question. 10 means you're going to get 2 questions. And I'm saying out of your 20, remember there's 20 questions overall, you get one or 2. You have to do that. So it's vague, and that's why, guys, it doesn't make any sense to leave stuff out. It's, Alina, what they do is, when I question them why they do the strange mix, why don't you just tell the guys, okay, like you did in level 1. By the way, guys, you are now entering the corporate finance section, and there will be 2 questions. It's 10%. They said, first of all, because they like to mix it up a little bit, sometimes 1, sometimes 2 questions, depending on, okay? And number 2 is that, yes, they can, if they so choose, they can put some other sections in other sections, okay? But as Matt says, it's unlikely because not that they're completely standalone topics, but they are quite on their own type of topics,
What you do see though quite often is that if they also certain questions for, like example, on equities, and it comes up again in like man, fixed income, they won't ask you.
Yeah.
Ask you once,
Yeah.
it can come up anyway, equities, fixed income,
Yeah.
that's all.
It's so everyone disagrees when I make the statement, but I'm going to make it anyway. Okay, they're not there to trick you. Okay, you'll all fight with me and say yes, they are, guys. If you know your work, the stuff, it's not easy. I didn't say it was easy. I said, but they're not there to try and fool you. No, don't. Okay. Then we move on to alts. And by the way, you can see I'm getting dangerously close to the 10. Am I right? Which was the same 10 topics that you had in level 1. And then there's Portman. Okay. You happy with that? So if we have a look at, if you want to just to say very briefly, what's the most important? If you had to rank them, my sense is I would give 1s to FRA, and I give 1s to equity. Those are probably your 2. You can almost get, guys, if they're weighting both of those on the top end of where they can, you can get 8 questions out of the 20 from those 2 topics. That's 40%. Okay. I don't think it's 9. Do you think it could be as much as? I don't think they ever go. It could. Yeah. Not that I've seen, because remember, guys, we think this is the thinking person's class. I don't care that each one's a standalone topic. We're going to cross sections all day, every day. Okay. Now, tell me, why should we not be having this discussion in any great detail, which we obviously not. We're not giving any details, etc. From what standard of professional conduct precludes us precludes you and precludes me from sitting here and saying, last year's paper they asked 3 questions and the areas that they focused on were X, Y, Z. Why can't we talk about that? What standard? Correct. 3A or 7B? B. What was A? Your designation. That's what you're trying to get, guys. 2 years away, that's it. 2 more exams. These easy if you work hard. Okay. Nothing that's worthwhile is easy. And I can tell you something, guys, this designation out there has just got such a gold tinge to it. There's no, that's your motivation to carry on, guys. That there's, someone said to me, well, why do we choose to teach the CFA? I said, I'm an independent provider. I can teach what I like. So what I do is I pick the best of breed in every area, and we teach that, because why not? And obviously CFA, there's nothing to touch it, guys. In that particular area of investments, it's not. If you want to move, is it a manager? Someone said to me, will they learn how to manage people afterwards? I said, no. I said, then you must do an MBA. If you want strategy and management, that's MBA. Alternatives, you do CAI. Risk, you do FRM. Everything is specific. Accounting, you do a CA. This is the gold standard of investments. Okay. Guys, moving down, what's next important? I would give ethics a 2. Okay. Fixed income, probably a 2. Derivatives. And guys, and maybe Corp Fin, I would give that maybe a 2.5, going on to the 3. But what do you see now? That even say we do give Corp Fin a 2, then you're left with lots of little stuff, aren't you? And what do people do? Put that in the cupboard. We'll do that later because FRA and equities are so important. Of course they are. But guys, you leave out sections at your peril. I don't want to scare anybody. It's not my intention. But please don't leave anything out ever, because that's just it's going to cost you. There's going to be a massive cost to that. But you can see, guys, massive stuff, equities and FRA. And the reason I don't do equities first in this early start, okay, is because I wanted to get a mix of section 1 topics, the huge ones, and some of the smaller ones. So that's what I've done here. And I think people battle a little more with FRA than they do with equities. How many CAs are there? Any chartered accountants? Oh, we've got quite a few. You guys have to help me with that. Oh, brilliant. Okay. The last time when I finished, when I got my whatever CA thing, so I don't mean it disrespectfully. I don't. I got wrapped over the knuckles the other day because someone said they saw my LinkedIn profile and it's got my name, CFA, FRM, and then CASA. They said, did I put it like that on purpose? I said, yeah. So they said, that's disrespectful. I said, I didn't mean any disrespect. Why I did that is because I teach CFA. CFA is our bread and butter. I want people to see that first. I always tell people that the CA helped me to get where I needed to be. So I never kick the CA. Okay, it's a marvelous I don't know if you call it designation. I don't know what it is. Degree? Designation. Okay. I think the stuff we did before was the degree. Am I right? Okay. So I hope I'm not intending to knock it. I can tell you, because in South Africa it's got a lot of prestige. The CA it really does. It carries a lot of weight, and as I said, it got me to where I needed to be as well. So I never knock it, but I do put it last because of, I'm not. If I were teaching it as well, then I'd have a debate. But to me, the most important for me at this point are the other designations, because that's where I am at the moment. Things may change. Who knows? Okay. So guys, that's our job ahead of us. But having said that, guys, and I can't stress it enough. Don't use the early start as a yawn session. Yeah, okay, we're here. Sounds interesting. Seen it once. If you put your hard yards in now, guys, it is really going to save you. I had a debate with one of the international providers. Okay. And I said to him, he said, yeah, this whole thing with the 300 hours, the guys are just not getting to put in the 300 hours. I said, that's your first mistake. Okay, and this leads me on to my next point, guys. It's no longer 300. I don't know if it ever was 300 hours. I don't know. Guys, you better be thinking 400 hours plus. You want to get through level 2. Level 2, if I look through these topics, guys, and you can look through these topics as well, there may be one of the 10 sections, 2 that upset you a little bit. Some guys don't like quant, some guys don't like ecos, blah, 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 whatever. You'll pick your topic, what you like, what you don't like. Okay. There's no rocket science here. This is not, if you want hard stuff, you'll go next door to the FRM class. That's just pure quants. So if you love quants, it's easy. Okay. If quants isn't your topic, you'll die a very painful death in an FRM class. Okay. It's quants. Okay. Distributions. You go through Bernoulli. You got these distributions. I can't even spell their names sometimes. So that's what I just left out when I did it. I was okay. But that's not the case here. The case here is volume, guys. There's a ton of volume, but it's not hard. There's very little it's not easy. I'm not minimizing it. It is difficult, but not crazy difficult. The difficulty here, guys, is the volume is big. Yes. I'm going to give you all the approach. Don't worry. I'm going to give you all the approach. We'll get to that section in a second. Okay. So, guys, that's your topic matter. What I want to switch to now, if I could find it, is just to have a brief look. Yes, sir. Guys, one thing I got to tell you, the CFA never ever phones me to ask me am I happy with the paper? Are these good questions? Or I'm a not even a cog in the system. As all the providers are. We're a preferred provider. We've got preferred provider status to the CFA. What does that give me? I get access to notes before anybody else. They tell me a little bit about what's important, what's not important. I get the changes. I get nothing upon nothing about this paper. I'm just saving you the effort from phoning me the night before the paper. I had one guy that said, please, they're very stressed. And in fact, they went so far as that the mother was ill and they haven't enough time. So please, can I just give them a little bit of a help? What's in the paper? I said, how would I even know? They said, no, I'm just not being kind to them. I said, no, I love I really do. I love my students, but I don't know. It was a she. You want to ask me that question? One guy finished level 2. Okay, he wrote on the Saturday. He finished the exam, and from 7 p.m. because the WhatsApp hit my phone at about 9:30 p.m. It was about 2.5 hours after they finished writing. Every single question that they had asked with details he had WhatsApped to me. Everything. Yeah, what you could remember, and literally he got about 18 or 20 just on a brief look, and I said to him, what are you doing? I said, are you mad? I said, I've deleted it, which I did. I said, you delete it, and we'll pretend the discussion never happened. I said, because you've just finished ethics at level 2, so I know you've done it twice. Not a clue. It's a complete violation, guys, of, and even if you're not an ethical person, okay, some are born inherently with more ethics than others, whatever. Guys, you don't want to lose your CFA on account of something stupid. Lose it on something big, man. You want to go big. Okay. But please don't lose it on something. And I didn't even ask him. He's a lovely guy and I was friendly with him. But I didn't ask. Of course I never asked. And I don't expect you guys to come out of the paper telling me anything. Please. I could see already it was starting in the June paper. Guys were already starting off the paper to say, well, guys were saying like, how would you handle so-and-so question? Guys, why are you asking how would I handle such a question 3 hours after the paper's finished? Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. We don't get to see discipline in level 2. We saw it in level 1, but they're tough. CFA is not there was 320,000 registrations last year, guys. This is a big company. Okay, they're not going to tolerate indiscretion. So please don't. So you ask the question, they're not read ethics. People still do silly things, and that'll let's just skip to the bottom now that we're here. Okay. As you know what calculators you got to bring. Doesn't change from level 1, and yet some guys still bring the wrong calculator. I don't know how it works. Okay, you know those calculators already. Let's have a quick look here, guys. Okay. Morning session 9 to 12. Same story. Afternoon session 2 to 5. When is the exam? I'm taking you down here, guys. 15th of June. So again, we thank our Muslim brothers for that. Okay. Ramadan came a little bit early. It just pushed. I remember when I worked with a Muslim guy. I'm going back quite a while, and because their calendar works with the moon, I'm sure you guys are aware. Okay, it keeps getting pushed back. The year is much shorter than a solar year. Okay, so Ramadan used to be in November, December time, but you can see it's gone all the way back now, and because of that, the exam it's normal. Remember, guys, it's normally the first week of June. So we do have, and guys, for that we say thank you. Say thank you to whoever you want to say thank you to. I don't care. But 15th of June gives me 2 more weeks, which we say thank you for, and we use with great effectiveness. We'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay. Let's go back up. There you go. Morning format. Again, ABCs. Okay. 10 vignettes, stories with 10 questions each, total of 60 questions in the morning, 60 questions in the afternoon. Have you got enough time? Yes. Have you got extra time? No, not at all. So, as I said before, guys, okay, step number 1 in this class is to get the knowledge into you. Step number 2 is to teach you how to answer questions. Step number 3, last step, will be to answer questions in the time. Okay. At this point in time, I had one of my FRM guys that came out looking a little bit horrible and said that they just did the questions that I asked them in the correct times. and they're just battling. I said, I never told you. I said, I told you to do the questions. I never told you to do them in their times yet. That we build, don't we? To the point when we get to the end, guys, that we can answer a vignette in 18 minutes. Not now. Now I'm much more focused, guys, that you understand the work, you understand the story behind the vignette, you understand how they're asking, and we'll build. It may take you 36 minutes. Double the time up front. Fine. Fine. Okay? But as we get closer and closer to the exam, remember you're going to write 6 papers for me close to the exam. We have a full revision course. Okay? There's lots of time to build on it. Step number 1, get the knowledge. Step number 2 is when you work on the questions, guys, you understand the questions and you can answer them effectively. Okay, let's go. Okay, we've done this already, guys. Just a brief for the new people into level 2. Level 2 works more on processes as opposed to, they often call level 1 financial trivial pursuit, because it's just tons and tons of little questions, isn't it? If you get them, great. If you don't, well, then you can move on. Okay. Level 2 is not like that. Level 2 is much more process based. You've really got to get involved in the questions. It's a whole story before the questions are related to the story, and we're going to show you techniques on how you go about answering those, guys. Okay. We've got lots of time together. Okay. Ethics, okay, 10 to 15%. When just if you do like to use this, I'm not a huge fan of it because it just, people saying, oh, only 5%, but every 5% equals 1 story, and that's how you can gauge it. That's what Matt said to us a little bit earlier. Could be that on the top end of FRA, there's your 20%, that's 4 questions, and top end of equity is 25. Could be as much as 9 of your 20 questions. Unlikely, my sense is it's going to be 4 and 4. But, okay. And by the way, I get all the results at the end of the day. Probably the worst section in last year's exam, in terms of guys that failed at the worst, was actually equities. I don't know if equities was that hard in the paper specifically, but guys, and guys, when you go through equities with Kerbis, okay, you'll see it's not crazy. It's stuff that you know: discounted cash flows, present values. You know this stuff. Residual income. We've seen a lot of it before. Most of the guys coming through with some kind of a finance background as well. But yet, this was the killer this year. Okay. It's a massive section. But having said that, they're all big sections. And that is part of our challenge. That's why I like to start early, because that's our challenge. Okay. I joked with one of the international providers the other day that I'm going to book a website. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it, but I want to book it anyway. So, it was better to dream than not to dream, and get round to it at some point. But I want to book the next website. I'm going to call it 400 hours. There's the website 300 hours, 300hours.com. It's such a misnomer. I think they've kept it just because it's stuck. I want to book a domain, whatever you call those things, called 400 hours. Okay. Because I think that, hey? 600, and guys, hey? Okay, and guys, I don't want to knock anybody, but these are guys that are repeating. Guys, 300 hours is not enough time. I have no doubt about. That's not even a question to me. 300 hours is not enough time. Now, if we have a brief look, guys, okay, I don't want to scare anybody, but what differentiates you from the other guy that you're sitting next to, and the guy in America, and the Chinese guy? Everyone says, I'm not writing now because the Chinese oaks are writing. Wow. I don't know what's wrong with the Chinese. They're not so clever, guys. The Chinese have got a problem. What's the problem with the Chinese guys? They don't have a life. That's not my problem. That's their problem. But remember, the Chinese guys, their slight disadvantage, they've got to also write in English. So they've got to go from Chinese to. They're not catered for in terms of, there's no. CFA is written in one language internationally. That's it. So the Chinese guys also have to battle a little bit. Okay. No. They are unsympathetic. That's why, guys, don't mess with this body called the CFA. They're not interested. No, no. Correct, correct. So, guys, what is going to get you through? Because remember, first of all, this is not level 1 anymore. How many guys, be honest, when you started level 1, you said, particularly the CAs, I know you oaks, okay, thought, let me give this a shot, and we'll see what will be. Yeah. I did the same, by the way. I'm not trying to stand here and tell you any other stories. I did the same thing. Yeah, and then April, the hammer comes down a little bit. Okay. And we tried it. And I was one of the fortunate ones that I made it the first time. And then level 2, boy, my study approach was a different ball game. I worked like a Chinese guy. I'd never laugh. I'm not saying that they don't, but if you say that they don't, well, that's how I worked. And level 3, I worked even worse. Okay, but how are we going to get through that? Because remember, there was one service provider, I don't want to mention names, I had a disagreement with him as well. And he said, even if you're not ready for the exam, go and write. Why? Because at least you'll experience the day, which is not a bad thing, but also go into that exam and say, well, okay, I've studied Port Man, and write the Port Man section of the paper and see how you did on that section to see, well, can you really pass this paper with that level of knowledge on that particular topic? I don't agree with that. I think it demotivates people. I think write when you're ready. If you're not ready, it's not the kind of a paper that is very friendly, okay, that you're going to stand a chance if you're not ready. We know this by now. I'm not trying to demotivate it, but I think we know this. So what differentiates us? Anyway, by the way, I said to this guy, I said, by you telling, I said, you're doing a great service to the other candidates by telling all these other guys that are not ready to go and write. He says, why? I said, because you're just pushing the curve the other way. Because if they're going to push 2 guys through out of 3 and 1 guy's not ready, well, then he's just done a service to the other 2, hasn't he? Okay. He didn't like that, but anyway. Okay, doesn't matter. So, guys, how are we going to get ahead? Only two ways. You know this. We're going to work harder and we're going to work smarter, aren't we? Okay. I had one guy in the FRM class who wrote FRM 1 in May, and he failed it. And I spoke to him, and he said to me, he doesn't, what do we do in the classes? And I told him, he says, yeah, he doesn't think he needs it. So I said, there's 2 ways to pass this paper: harder, to work harder, and to work smarter. I said, the classes give you the smarter, because we've seen this all before. For the first time, I got someone actually ask me, guys, please can they have lecturers that have written the paper more recently than you older guys? I said, us older guys come with a bit of experience. I said, why do you want a young lecturer? I'd like to think of myself as fairly young anyway, but why do you want a young lecturer? He says, no, because they've seen the paper more recently. So I said, guys, please don't fool yourself. I get a great insight into what is going to be examined because we're a preferred providers. They give us all that data. So a young guy's not going to have any advantage over us. We all get to see the same stuff. Anyway, be that as it may. So the work hard. So guys, if we're looking at 2 aspects, smarter and harder, the smarter I'm going to give you in class. I'm going to say to you, don't focus there, do focus there. This FRM guy who said to me that he doesn't need classes because he thinks it's a bit of a waste of time, even after having failed the first time on his own, said he'll try. I said, try. And after the first class, he came to me and says, this is just the most amazing thing ever. I said, well, you told me it's a waste of time. He says, no. I said, no, not for that class. Because I've seen it all before, guys. I've got a bit of a bigger picture than you. Not because I'm smarter, I promise. Okay, I'm older, I'm experienced. I've done this a couple of times. I can see it a little bit different. I can see what's important, what's less important. We may not get it right all the time, but generally we do. Okay, that's the smarter. The harder, that's your cast iron behinds, guys. Okay, you have got to. I mean, Matt says it. You've got to put hours in. There's no substitute for massive hours, guys. Okay. I can't tell you anything different. I'd be lying to you if I said to you, I mean, I get so annoyed every time that the same stupid post comes up on LinkedIn time and time again. I think it's a Canadian fool who keeps on saying he passed CFA level 1 on 30 hours. I'm saying, just please take your post away. First first of all, I think you're lying. Second of all, maybe you're not, but maybe you're a PhD in finance, and yes, you only need it. But the normal people, okay, stop telling people that you can get through CFA on min hours. You can't. You can't. And hey, you can't. And anyone that's done it before knows this, guys. We're all normal people. There's no geniuses in this game. This is the guy that's going to pass over and above everybody else, guys. Okay, is the guy that puts the hours in. So smart, you come to class, we help you out on that side, we give you techniques, we give you just tricks, great. You have got to put the hours in. There's no substitute. On Sunday when there's a bra and the whole family's there, okay, it's horrible. And where are you? It's terrible. No, it's not just horrible, it's terrible. Okay, but guys, that is what is going to pull you through, and that's why I always, my intro over here is to always tell the people that are here, please go home, talk to your mothers, your fathers, if you're still at home, husbands and wives, if you're not still at home, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. Each one's got their own situation. Good for them. Okay. Cat. Even after someone said to me, please, can I mention the cats and the dogs? Okay. Talk to your cats and dogs too, if you're close to them. Okay, guys. And the reason I say speak to my front is to get the understanding, because what's going to happen every Saturday, every Sunday, they're going to say, but you're working again. I had one girl that phoned me. I was a bit disappointed in her. I told her as such, because I just dealt with a married guy. He is close to 30, doing a CA, and failed CTA the first time. Second time, obviously did it again. And in January of that year, I got a phone call from his mom. So I said, who's this? No, I'm so-and-so's mom. So I say, why are you phoning me? I'm quite rude sometimes, guys. I'm sorry if I come across as a bit, when the guys phone me I'm so busy, and the guy phones me and says, we're selling so-and-so airtime. Bro, please. Hi, you got a minute? Can I have a minute of your time? And I'm quite rude. I say, what do you want? Who are you? What do you want? So if I do that to any of you, please just accept my apologies. I didn't mean it like that, but I get a lot of funny calls. Anyway, so I said to her, well, why are you phoning me? Are you writing the paper? She said, no, I'm a doctor. I said, well, then you've had your chance, haven't you? I think she wanted to say, you're quite rude, but she didn't. So she said to me, I'm paying for the course, for him to write. I said, then leave him alone. She said, what? I said, leave him alone. I said, your son is not I know him from last year. He's not a slacker. He's doing the best that he can. I said, your constant, whatever you want to call it, nagging is not helping him. She said, yeah, but so that was the mom. The day later, I get his wife. Hi, I'm so and so. I said, let me give you a number. It's the mom. You can talk to her. She said, yeah, but it's my husband. He's failed once. I said, yeah. I said, many people fail once. I said, I've got a very firm belief, by the way, guys, that often people need to do something twice. This is what it is. Sometimes you don't get the first time, you get the second time. Okay. So she said to me, yeah, how are we going to make sure that he passes? I said, I said, I want to like smack this girl. Said, who are we? I said, leave him alone. You're not writing the paper. You're not under the same stress that he's under. He's working. He's doing the best he can. Just let him write. And she said to me, because I want you to know something. I said, tell me. She says, I passed first time. So I'm saying, passed what? She wasn't going to get away with that. I said, what'd you pass? A BA in dancing. Then I said to her, do people ever fail that? I said to her, let me explain to you. I said, please take the same message back to your mother-in-law it was his mom, is leave him alone. I said, the only words of encouragement that I can give to you and your family at this point is, he's a clever boy, he's doing the best he can. The only thing that's going to help him is your positive encouragement, your love, your dedication to him. Yes, there's going to be nights where he's going to tell you, I can't come out to a movie, I can't go to dinner, I can't, because he needs to work that many hours. That is what's going to get him through this paper. Just give him your love and understanding. That's what I said to you guys. Speak to your loved ones, explain to them, because they may not understand. They may have a BA in dancing, and they think they needed to work 1 hour a week for. I don't know how if you dance with it or I don't know what. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Okay, but anyway, Each to their own. If you like dancing, that's great. But this is a very tough paper, guys, and explain it to your loved ones that you are going to be unavailable, but June will come. June will come, and June will go. Okay. And get the understanding, guys, because it's really going to serve you very well if you've got the buy-in. It's very hard to knock heads all the time with particularly if it's a husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend type situation, or kids as well. Kids are, how many guys have got kids? Okay. I also got a couple. Okay. One last, but I wish I had more, but I've only got 5. Yeah. I wish I had more, but I'm old. So I'm one of the old guys. Okay. Mine ranges from 15, a 15-year-old boy, 12-year-old twin boys. My baby boy's 2, and I was blessed with a girl in between. I think Sarah's about 5. I mean, I wish I could have more, but father time. And I can tell you one thing, by the way, guys, get your CFAs now, because I can tell you, okay, I don't know why. I think the man upstairs has got a sense of humor, but I work a lot from home, and I've got a home office, which I don't know why, but I think the only room in the house has got 2 doors, one leading onto the kitchen and one leading onto the other section of the house, and it's a thoroughfare. Okay, the kids are in and out. Okay, so I try to work when I can, but I get a lot of. So guys, if you can work, let's try to get the CFAs. If you've got kids already, well then you're blessed. If you haven't got them, hopefully you'll be blessed one day. Okay. No, I never said that. Okay. Try get your CFA before they come, because they are beautiful, they are lovely, but they are time consuming. Okay. Good. Let's have a quick, guys. I'm going to be at about another 10 minutes, then we'll wrap up. Look at the numbers. There's 3,105 pages if you decide to go straight from the CFA syllabus. Don't. Okay. The edge notes are more than enough. You don't need more than that. About 1,000, right about, just over 1,000. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, Chetan, I can tell you, I've just finished, just the other day, I finished, you'll see it in there, reading 17, analysis of banks. It's almost in that ratio. Our notes are about 1/3 of what is in the syllabus, CFA syllabus. The guys have done it before. Guys, I have I don't criticize the CFA syllabus at all. Okay, not because I'm a preferred provider or that I get into trouble if I did. It's a very well written thing, but it's long. And when time's of the essence, don't spend too much time on it. Okay, so, but it is a very well written, but it's all free, by the way, as well, guys. You've all got your downloads from the CFA. Those that are okay, you can just, if you want to read something there for more clarification or something, you can do it. But please, what I do beg of you is, don't go and buy yourself now another provider, a 3rd provider, 4th provider. It's all more or less the same kind of stuff. It's just going to cause confusion. Lose the FOMO. You're not missing out on anything. Okay. I told the guys last year when I developed a ton of questions for this particular level, I said enjoy them now, because next year they won't be original anymore. They said, well, why not? That's all the other providers will take them. That's what they do. Okay, but we take some of theirs as well, so that's how it works. So there's not so many new questions out there. If you buy Wiley, Schweizer, Analyst Online, Prep Smart, whatever, there's tons. You're not going to get unique questions for each one, that I can promise. The only time you're going to see a unique question again is when, guys? In the exam. Brand new. Never been seen before. That I can guarantee you. End of question readings, guys, is 1,145 questions. Learning outcome statements. And that, by the way, that's how we design our notes, just to make sure that we cover everything. Every single of those 471 learning outcomes, I have got writing on that underneath it to cover that. So we make sure we cover all of those. It's 51 readings, and it's the only level that there's only 17 study sessions. I phoned them last year. I spoke to Kelly in America. I said, I think you guys have made a mistake. I said, because aren't there supposed to be 18? She said, normally there are, but they changed from that last year in level 2 to go down to 17. Okay. Guys, let's have a quick look over your lecturers. I try my best to give you guys the best of breed. So, for example, we're looking at things like equities. Kurbis is a rated equity analyst. He comes in for equities, fixed income. I'll give you Mohammed Ishmael. He's head of fixed income trading at MMR. Okay, top guy. I don't know why I teach ethics, but I think nobody else wants it. Doesn't mean I'm any more ethical, I promise. Okay. FRA, I do as well. No, the CA's wanted that one. CorpFin, you've got Paul Burkett. He's a ex-investor, been in CorpFin forever. Okay. So we try and mix up the lectures a little bit just to give you a best of breed. Having said all of that, guys, obviously I run the program, so if you've got any hassles, you can come to me, or you can go to them as well, whatever. We all work very nicely together. Okay. Approach to work with the 4 C's. I'll spend a lot more time on it as we go through the program, but the 4 C's very briefly. Okay. The consistency. What is the consistency? When do you work? Every single day. And if there's a wedding, unless it's yours, okay, then what? Your best mate's wedding. Give me 5 minutes, guys. That's all. Why? Because if you consistent, you work every single day, then what's going to happen tomorrow when you've got more time? Well, if you didn't work the day before that, what happens the next day? There, you won't work again, am I right? Every single day, guys. And if it's a hectic, crazy, mad day, okay, you give me 5 minutes. And what do you do in your 5 minutes? You go over the 7 standards of professional conduct. That's all. Okay. What's the first one? Professionalism. Knowledge of the law. Independence and objectivity. Misconduct. Am I right? God, we've got to know them that. Good, we've got to know them that well. They're 22 altogether, but we'll get there. That's not for tonight. Okay, what's my other C? Without this one, you're going nowhere. Commit chocolates. That's the 5th one. C. Okay. We'll talk about chocolate in a second. Commitment. Okay. You got to want this. This is not something that you're going to get without wanting it. You've got to be committed to getting the charter, because this is hard. I had one guy that came through a while back and said, like the CAs, he said, he thinks he'll try CFA level 1. I said, don't. He said, why? I said, it's too hard to just, it's not a willy-nilly. You got to want this. This is what you got to want. It's okay. My other C, calm. Oh, there's another nice C. Chocolates and crowd. I might add that. I might have the 6 C's. I've only got 4 now. Okay, is what? Is calm, guys. Calm when you study. Calm when you write the paper. How many guys fall to? I had one guy from Cape Town. Okay, he actually passed CFA level 3. He failed it last year. Then he came to us this year. I helped him remotely. Okay, and he didn't finish last time the paper. So we had a whole strategy, and then what happened? He got to question 9, and it got a bit difficult, and time was running, and he missed the last question again. He went to pieces. Guys, that to me is one of the biggest ones. It's just breathe. Things are going to get heavy. Things are going to get busy. Things are going to get big. Before the exam, close to the exam, and in the exam as well. We're going to teach you techniques for that, for the C. And the last C is, which is the one I've added, is concentration, guys. What I mean by concentration, okay, don't sit and work for 4 hours, guys, when you are dog tired, okay, and then you come back and say, oh, gee, I worked 8 till 12 p.m. Very nice. What did you get in from 8 to 12 p.m.? Bugger all. Maybe, or maybe not, I don't know. And that leads me to like the point, guys, that we talk about when should you work, how much should you work. Guys, try to put in an hour or 2 every day. Okay. Weekends, go for about 8 hours on the weekend. When I say 8 hours, I'm talking about that's with Saturday and Sunday. So guys, if your home situation says, well, I'm religious, I can't work on Saturdays, you'll work Sundays. If your home situation says, my children need me on a Sunday morning for 4 hours, tell them, listen guys, we're going to go on a nice outing for 4 hours on Sunday morning, or you tell your wife you can take her for coffee or whatever it is. I know it's not so, what's it called? Not so romantic if you plan it. Okay, well, we're in CFA now. I never said this is a romance degree. Okay? So you've got to be a bit practical now. So you say, listen, darling, Sunday we're going to go out for 2 hours between 8 and 10, and you plan to walk 4 hours after that. Don't kill yourself or kill everybody around you. Try getting about 8 to 10 hours on the weekend. If it's 5 and 5 between Saturday and Sunday, or it's 8 on one day, whatever works for you, and try getting an hour and a half or 2 hours a day if you can. if you can. But guys, it's that concentration. I would far rather, and I do this often. My kids find me sleeping all over the house. Okay, if I find a couch, then okay. If I'm too tired to work, I go lie on the couch for half an hour. Okay, and I can tell you something. When I come back to my desk, I'm a new person. Half an hour, it's 40 minutes. It's not, you know. I'm not telling you to go to bed at 7 p.m. and when you come back from work tired. You'll always be tired, won't you? But have a cat nap. If what works for you is a bit of exercise, if what works for you is a quick movie to watch a series, don't start with a series, because then they're just those okay.
So Russell, just to buttress the point, so before I wrote level 2, I studied till 1 p.m. From 1 to 4. I've got into the exam hall. In the session 2 till 5, I had the biggest migraine problem.
Guys,
Yes.
and listen to TJ. This is a guy that's been there, done that.
Yeah.
God.
This is the first exam I failed. And I told you that.
Yeah.
It was so disappointing.
And guys, a very brave of a guy to stand up and say this. Okay, but then take it from him, guys. And there's no sense rather going to the paper calm. But the other C, concentrate, because if you can't concentrate, you're not calm. Okay. And on 1 a.m., you don't.
You don't know it, I can tell you that.
Exactly. Guys, my strong advice is that your last work is going to be that Thursday even. Friday you take off. If you go to a movie and the whole day you're thinking, well, I know nothing. Well, maybe. I don't think that's true, by the way. Everyone thinks they know nothing. You know plenty. Relax the day before. Go in calm. Guys, have a glass, not a bottle, a glass of red wine on Friday night. If whiskey is your thing, do that. Illegal, yes. We'll talk about that under equity investments. Okay. So, guys, we're going to add in our next, please. Eric, I'm cancelling yours one. I don't want the crying. You're not crying in this paper. We have tears of joy when you pass, perhaps, but no other crying other than that. And chocolates I like. Chocolates, I'm with you. I'm with Elaine. I'm bad with chocolates. Okay, but get them to you. Get them into the system. And it's funny. I've got 4 boys and a girl. The boys, yeah, give us this. You like a chocolate, yeah, whatever. The little girl, one way into her heart. Okay, it's quick and easy. Okay, just the chocolate. So we may need to add the 5th C. Let's go through the course and we'll see as we go. Okay, and guys, that's it. So if we just have a quick look, guys, we've seen the syllabus. Okay, we've got an approach now, guys. With pleasure, guys. If you want to come talk with me one-on-one, phone me, WhatsApp me, anything. If you want some specific advice on your work schedule, pleasure. But other than that, guys, from next week Thursday, okay, we're going to jump straight into reading 14, which is intercorporate investments. We move from intercorporates to defined benefit plans to the new reading analysis of banks or financial institutions. We do foreign exchange, and then we do a little bit of on the back end. We look at the different kinds of the consistency and all that kind of stuff in accounting, earnings, etc. Last 2 readings, guys. That's my spiel. No. Okay, so sorry. I normally do that as part of the second thing, but let me just show it to you very quickly. So here's our first reading, which we're going to do next week. Don't stress. I saw a bit of stress over there. Okay, we'll do it next week. Reading 14, intercorporate investments. Now, what I do for you in class, if you want to, let's answer your question in stages, because it's a very good question. Okay, if you decide to pre-read, that's great. Is it of a benefit to you? Of course. You have to. No, I've designed the course such that I know you're under work pressure. Okay, so if you are a pre-reader and you haven't had time to pre-read, please still come to class. Okay, don't stay away. Now, when you look over here at intercorporate investments, so there you go. It looks short, it's only 3 LOSs, but they're big ones, of course. And in the class, what will I do? What's my value add, I hope, is I take you through all the work. There we go. Okay, and we go through all the pages, do a bit of consolidation, blah, 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 till there. Okay, that is 31 pages, 30 odd pages of notes. That's what we do in class. No pre-reading needed. Post-reading, most definitely. So you come away from the class, and what must you do week on week? Go back and make sure you've understood those 30 pages. Read them again once or maybe even twice. Everything is recorded so you can listen again if you choose. Okay, good. The next big thing is what I've incorporated. The level 2 guys that gets all the benefits. The poor level 1s, I haven't had time to update their questions, but you've passed that anyway. So. Okay, the level 2 guys, okay, what we call them our edge checkers. And you say to me, but this isn't in the format of how it's going to be in the exam. I know. Okay, because the exam is what? It's a story then question. Am I right? You don't see any stories here. Okay, I'm fully aware. But what we've done is we go through these. Look at these. Wow, where is that? Yeah, we scour through these 3,105 pages of the CFA syllabus. And I get a question on each and every point over there. Nothing's missed out. That's what you're going to find, guys. So you've just had 30 pages of questions, 30 pages of notes. Look at your questions, just to make sure what these edge checkers give you. It could be my 7th C. I don't know where we're up to now. Okay, we're getting rid of the crying, so that one's gone. But chocolates I like. But this is the next C, is coverage. And what I do with these questions, guys, I make sure we get the coverage. So is this exact way you're going to get asked in the exam? No. But this makes sure you know exactly what's in reading 14 in its entirety. And how do we know that? Because I go through those, the CFA books. Someone's got to read them. Okay, I read them. My guys read them. Okay, and we make questions. So for reading 14, let's just see how many questions you got. Okay. Okay. Are we still going? Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm finished. Okay, only 141 questions. Okay, and that makes sure you've got the coverage. Okay, do you have to do all that? And what you're going to find with these questions, guys, okay, is you'll find there's a little bit of an overlap. Sometimes I just ask the same kind of a question. Slightly, look over here, you can see the same numbers are there, aren't they? If you got it the first time and you got the concept clear, you don't have to do every single question. Ideally, and I'm begging here a little bit, but if you could leave the class and from now until then have got a good sense of the notes again and have seen these questions, you are going to be more than fine. Okay, guys, I have murdered the questions a little bit primarily because I want to get that coverage. And that gives me the certainty that if you do all the questions and you've seen all the questions, you've covered everything for sure. So if you could cover, and that's why, guys, you've got a whole, I don't know what you'll do in a whole week. It's a whole week, Thursday to Thursday. Okay. Maybe you can have like one movie or one series, I don't know. And lots of chocolates. Okay. What's that? Champions League. There was no Champions League this week, am I right? Only Liverpool going out, which was quite interesting. Okay. Are there any Liverpool supporters? But remember, and I say this in a nice way, there's no harm. No harm will come to you if you finish all these and now you want to move on to the CFA questions. Okay, do these first. Okay, it's proven that the guys have done this. I work with the guys, and guys, I tell the CFA guys, I beg them, please come to the exam sessions at the end, because the exam sessions at the end, similar to these types of questions, are what reinforces your knowledge. And they don't come. And everybody, I think almost every single one of the level 1 guys that came throughout the exams got through. Those that didn't do as well. Okay, guys, it's the questions, because remember, what I can do with you in 4 hours of a class is a certain amount. You then have to take that knowledge, translate it into questions, and you'll say, oh, that's what he means. Okay, oh, that's how we, you know what I'm saying? And that's what the questions are going to do for you. Okay, so it's vital. The more questions you can get, the better. You know, I don't knock any of my providers. Schwazer's good. Wiley's good. I particularly like Wiley, by the way. But just my own personal preference. Whatever you can, if you can get your hands on stuff, I'm not offended. So one guy said to me, do I hate Schwazer? I said, no. I think they do a very good job. Okay, it's good material. What I do say is don't go and buy 4 or 5, because that's just duplication. And there's no point in that. And you paid your money here, so why pay it again? at a 15 to something $rand. I don't know what it is now. I've lost count. Okay, guys, that's us for the night. This is. Please enjoy your night off. It's not a night off, but it's a bit of an earlier night. Okay, this is the last one we're going to get for a while. If you've got any questions, give me a shout. If not, drive safe. By the way, guys, sorry, one last little bit of admin before you leave is please come and take a parking ticket. I don't know where you guys parked, but if you parked in the center, take a ticket. Take your other one that you've got and just put it somewhere, throw it away so you don't get confused, and just take yourself a parking ticket to help you out, to get you home. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Cool. People say to me like,